Hello, everybody. Wow, 51 people. Thank you guys for showing up and joining my Bon Voyage party.
I'm putting it down now.
Yeah, turn it off. You can't do it. Start your engines. Ah, cheers to you all. Ah, vroom vroom. Sorry I'm late. I was all dirty and sweaty. I just finished. Time out, humanity. Thank you. Just finished getting cleaned up after closing up everything. Thank you, my friends. Helped me with everything because I'm still really not exactly 100%, but at least I'm walking a little bit better now. So let's say hello to everybody. Time out, humanity. Coaster Queen, Robin. Hello, Robin. Thank you for your message today. And I was serious. If you would write me back with specific, maybe she did. I'll look at that and I'll get back to you, okay? That's my pleasure. All right, so we have Toxic Sunshine. Cindy. Oh, thank you. My back's a little bit better. I was in the water, as you might have seen. I put a promo video up. And then I also shared a little bit of something else on YouTube, read on Twitter, and I shared a second, actually my first take of my promo video, which I found was a little too long for YouTube, so I put it on Facebook. So giving everybody a smiley face to look at. Person, hey, Mike Perez, Romeo's lover, hi. Yeah, heat works and ice works too. Thank you, JT. I appreciate you all so very much. Nirmal in New York, thank you. I'm staying safe. I just hope the back gets better. Mitch Ader from Nottingham, England, thank you again, my friend, for joining us. And Rischling, hello. Crystal, thank you. DJ Infinity, thank you. Oh, you got 10 trolls from Troll Mart. Oh, that's great. Thank you, DJ. I love trolls, especially the Twitter trolls. They're so much fun. Dan loves them too. Oh, you're welcome, Robin. I'm glad you sent back a message. And Dr. Leonard. I'm going to try something for a second. Can you still hear me satisfactorily if I talk like this? Please give me an indication if you hear me. Robin, $50, that's too kind, Robin. Gosh, thank you so much. But I just unplugged my headphones. Can you, or my mic, can you hear me okay? Yes? Good. My battery is low. I need the juice. So I thought, and it's still clear. My broken phone isn't as broken as you may think. Bobby Abernathy, Blue-Eyed Lady, thank you, and Darling Lady Lamb. Kazzy Nicole, I actually live in Florida now. We're about a 6 month split. But yes, I'm a citizen of Florida. Sound is clear without the headphones. Well, damn great. I've been only wearing these things by request of and requirement of Dan Bell for all the podcasts. He won't let me just use the phone, the microphone built in. So I'm now going to replace the phone because of peer pressure. Little bastard is 15 years younger than me, and he thinks he can rule me like he's my dad.
Are you on the west side of Florida?
Yes, we are near Clearwater, Florida. I'm actually in a little town that's called Seminole, Florida. It was incorporated like in 1975 or something. And who else is being generous here? Time Out Humanity, thank you. I'm actually just enjoying a couple cold beers. some Yinglings. And my lovely wife, she's got some kind of vodka thing here, I'm sure.
Two puppies.
Neil, if I had known you were only in Orlando, I could have had you join in the backyard here. And Coaster Queen has been here. I hope you found Seminole a pleasant place to go. There may be some clouds coming in, and the fountain is back. Can we see the fountain barely? I'm not sure. Maybe not, but in a little while it's going to be dark and I needed to have some illumination, so we needed that. And Explorers, thank you very much. I wish you could take a couple of shots and gargle with the vodka. That would be great. I know you need that. Chris Santoro, thank you very much, and I am happily having a drink or two or three, because I don't have to drive anywhere, even tomorrow. Cape Coral, that's on the East Coast, I believe, down almost to Palm Beach. And let me go back up to the top, just to make sure I didn't miss someone. Maria G, I didn't say hello. Giggins, I didn't say hi. Shelley Tuning, Waking Ribbons, Jay Norm, Brian Tan, hi Brian Tan, and Shelley, I already saw your name. Doodlebug, hello, Doodlebug's here. And yes, Chris, of course, Joe and the one and only. No, I don't know about Arnold. Where's Arnold Ziffel? So I just got Lisa Holland, thank you very much. I will be careful. Thank you for your kind fan mail that you sent me just yesterday or the day before. I love fan mail. And if you like, please write rick.adr@aol.com. Greatly appreciated. Lori Kochansky, thank you for your wish for safe travels, and thank you for the donation. Very sweet. It's like abandoned though in Cape Coral, huh? Half the neighborhoods are empty. I hated it. But how far are you from the beach, and is the beach nice? It's a long ride. Now pardon me. I got a lot of dust when I cleaned out the screen tent. Not as bad as asbestos. Thank you, Rieshling. I will be flying back with my mother. My wife will be driving our Honda Fit loaded to the gills back to Baltimore. We'll take at least 2 days, an overnight stay, but I told her if she's feeling a little bit drowsy and she needs to quit it earlier the first day, go 3 days. JT says, oh, in the car. It's amazing now. This is a Honda Fit, not known as the largest vehicle. We have 2 large suitcases, well, extra large, the biggest size. And then we have the one size down, we have 2 of those, 2 guitars, guitar amplifier, a tool bucket, and 2 tool bags. DJ Infinity, come on, man. God, thank you so much. $100 donation. Oh, man, you're just really generous. I appreciate it so much. That is the biggest donation I have ever seen. Wow. I'm floored, man. Thank you so much. And a whole bunch of small stuff. And canopy, that types of opening up for making shade. I plan this summer to do a meet up with Rick, Sarah in the Baltimore area region. Stay tuned for that. I want to make sure I can make arrangements for it first. And then I'm also going to make sure I put it out there early for people if you might want to even come into Baltimore to meet that date, and then maybe stick around and look at the area here. We are, socially distancing, and you need to wear a mask right now. We're watching statistics show improvement in Maryland. Case numbers are going down per day. So let's hope for the best. Maybe some things will open up because things are being found to improve. But if they didn't, they would have to do what they have to do. That's my feeling about it. I know a lot of people feel frustrated, especially if you're out of work. But I'd rather be alive and not out of work than dead working. You know what's going on in the meat packing plants, food processing plants. I don't want to go into too much of the heavy stuff, but not too good, right? Those people were working, and now people are sick, and they have an outbreak in some of those plants.
On the brighter side, you went out to dinner.
Now, on the brighter side, what was that?
We went out to dinner.
We went out to dinner, right. Tonight we were able to go to a restaurant, outside dining. The tables were spaced way apart, and we had a great dinner. I had filet mignon and a lobster tail I shared with my wife and my mom. And, succulent. And my mother treated us. So I'm rolling in today with all your generosity and my mom's. Thank you so much. And Bobber, I really want America to open up, but I don't want people to be infected and sick and worse. If you're opening up, everybody needs a mask. Everybody needs to be protected. Can you agree with that? If we open up in a workplace, we got to have things in place, and you have to have personal protective equipment. If we can have that in place, that's the way to do it. If you don't have that in place, there's no sense in going to work and getting sick from your coworkers or
Don't forget the reason $100.
hurting other people.
Okay. DJ and
All right.
We
We are Family Rick. Buy some spirits on the flight. And please bring the headrest Dolline needs to sleep. Another ADR. Another Dolline rest, ADR. That's a good one. I'm sorry I didn't read all that. Yeah, she always loves a rest from me. Whether I go away or she goes away, it's nice to have a couple of days away from Rick. If you could get the gist of that. I don't know. All right, so somebody just brought up, more facts. Look at what person just said about Cactus, Texas, the JBS meat plant. And, right, 0.03 micron viruses. We do have 0.02 masks. That's the KN95, but then are you getting a face seal with a fabric mask?
The mask for other people. It also prevents.
All right, but I'm going to move away from that and go back to what we like here, which is everything except the bad news, right? So, you don't have to talk about it 24/7. It's right there behind us at any moment. Cleansing breath. Escapism. We don't need it now.
The background's getting even prettier tonight.
Yes, we have the sunset has hit, and of course you get the beautiful cloud illumination as that keeps going further. And down here the sunsets are phenomenal. They really are on the west coast of Florida. So let's have a cocktail, or let's have a toast to each other. God bless us all. Keep us safe and happy. And love the one you're with. Thank you, AJ Vintage. He would never want to leave if he had that.
If you have a granddaughter and a daughter, I think you would.
Yeah. We haven't seen my daughter Jen, my granddaughter Kylie, since the 22nd of February. When my wife came down here, we sent her early and got plane tickets because our good friends who actually helped me tonight, they needed help. A freak tornado hit their home, and she helped them in the aftermath. And that's long past. The worst is behind them, thank God, but there's still no progress on their house. And we're talking
Where are you going?
March, April, almost 3 months, May 22nd or so, 3 months since they were kicked out of their home. So, no one was hurt. The house is salvageable, but who wants to be kicked out of their house for maybe 3-4 more months to have it reconstructed inside, a new roof put on too? And the insurance won't cover it all. Make sure you have a good insurance company, one who will not try to be giving you the minimal offer for your house when something happens.
Shelley said something about celebrate our anniversary at Reddington Shore.
Okay, let me look for that.
8/26.
Shelley, okay, celebrate our anniversary. Yes. So was that recently or was that a while ago, Shelley? I mean, we've seen multiple weddings on the beach. Lori lives in Tornado Alley, so unfortunately she knows too well. And Jack is on. What did you say, Jack? Damn, yeah, definitely. All right, Gary Bababooey from West Palm Beach. That's not too far from Cape Coral, right? They're not too far apart, I think. And JT is with ghosts, but no people. Again last night.
Shelley's anniversary is the 15th.
Oh, the 15th.
Oh, no, their 15th anniversary is May 21st.
May 21st. Congratulations.
30th.
Our 30th is May 12th. But we're in the same month. We're May wedding people. Congratulations to you and your husband. I know. Oh.
I still want to know how you met Dan Dunn. I just have to know that.
I still think about how you tried on that pink. Oh, that was something. Yes, it was not nice. It was cold, wintertime. Dan and I are looking for, are there any Kmart's left open in Maryland? We found there was 3. And the one that was closest was an hour and a half away. So we went there. And there was nobody in the store. We had like one other shopper at the time that we were walking up. They were coming in. And if you saw the video, I act like a crossing guard and wave the person. They're in there the whole time we are. That was not sniffing panties. I was demonstrating what I knew was coming. There were not going to be any masks in a store, and you had to become clever and make a mask. So I found those cotton bikini
That was way before.
were available. I know, because I knew it was coming way back when we shot. I know so much. It scares me.
I'm getting peace on that, but not of them.
Okay. They were not stinky. They were very clean. And it was not a pedophilic, sexual, innuendo-filled moment. It was just an old guy looking stupid. And he laughed so hard he couldn't even stand on his feet. We have Spectrum. That's my service here, my mom's service here. It's her place, really. She pays the bills. And I keep losing connection. Now, I've had no problem with connection sitting here, and we sit here almost every day. So while I'm doing a live stream, and I'm right next to the house, it's going to start to act up.
What was it doing, Buck?
Thank you, Spectrum, for such quality equipment and service. Wait till we get back in the fall. We're going to have you fix everything. This is ridiculous. You're going to go back to the box and replace everything, the box and every piece of wire, because the stuff is probably 20, 30 years old, and now it's time for you to do something for the money that's paid for this, like $168 a month. Ugh, God. It's a monopoly in this town. I guess it's a lot of towns. There's like a primary service provider. You might be lucky if there's a secondary choice. In Baltimore City, I know, one choice. In Baltimore County, Maryland, two choices. And you can always get Dish, or you can get DirecTV. Anywhere, I guess. And you pay $195 AJ for Spectrum. See, now let me ask you, remember Bright House? Think about Bright House. How were they? Hello, Glowworm. Hello, Kwana, Ms. Endermage, Movie Buff, Mediocre Outdoorsman, Mediocre Guitarist. And Leonard's still here.
Ron said
Ron?
Colorado has 6 or 7 services. He gave you $10. Ron S.
Ron S., thank you so much. In Denver, Colorado, we have 6 or 7 services. You got one service. I'm not talking about Wi-Fi. That's the service I want in my state. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah, that's the service I want. Good, abundant sources of tetrahydrocannabinol in various forms in hashish. Is there Thai stick in Colorado? I'd love to find that. I will have to take a trip.
Get off the subject.
How about in Nevada? How far is it to get into Colorado from Las Vegas? Maybe I can take a little side trip if we ever make it to Las Vegas and go to Colorado for like an experience we used to think about going to Denmark and going to the coffee shops. About a half a day? Oh my God! I'll just take Uber.
You might have legal in Vegas.
Who's... Your mom is turning green now.
Your mom.
Oh, my mom's turning green? Actually, check this out. The other day, I'm out here, and I had everything there, and she's looking at it. She knows it's here. And I said, so what should I do? She goes, what do you mean? Should I get up and leave and go hide behind the mobile home and toke, or can I sit here? Oh, I don't care. Just sit there. So I had my mother watching me consuming marijuana. Yes. Now I offered it to her. No, I don't want that stuff. I don't do those kind of drugs. Meanwhile, she drinks her Manhattan. Do you know what a Manhattan is? It's all liquor. There's a little bit of light vermouth. Otherwise, it's a good whiskey. She likes VO or Crown Royal. So she's into the Seagram's brand, as you can tell. She used to use Seagram 7. Come on, man. You have money. buy yourself a better brand. You know what I mean? Normal. I used to be a good girl. Last year, hubby started passing me a blunt of some sort. Didn't get high, but it felt good to puff and chat. You see, it is. And I know that not everybody watching probably imbibes in that, but if you do it responsibly, especially at home, not riding around like I have done in the past. Bad behavior. Don't do that. Don't do what I tell you I do. Do what you should not do. And that is don't drive and smoke. And some people get paranoid about it, I know. That's a damn shame. Ride around Ricky. Puff, puffs, puff, pass, pass. Ricky likes to party, walk and smoke. Walking and smoking is good. Oh. So when I was younger, I would get baked, and I'd be wearing a tie-dye t-shirt, and I'd have my acoustic guitar around my neck, and I'd walk, and I would play my guitar and strum while I'm walking around. I'm not kidding. So my daughter's walking around with some friends. She's probably like 14 or 15. And at that point in time, I was on the down low. She had no idea. So she's walking by her and with her friend, and they see me in the distance, and she said, "Oh my God, that's my dad. Go down this street instead." That's me. I'm a little eccentric. I think it's cute. Do what you should not do. Yeah, right. That's going to be my campaign slogan. I'm Rick Serra, and I'm not running for president. But I thought I'd get stickers and stuff and just see what it feels like to not run for president. Say hello to Paula and tell her to get stoned with you. Okay, whoever is with Spray Craft Kitchen Respray, if your name is Paula, don't be such a square. Try it. Just take a couple little puffs. If it makes you cough badly, I don't want you to hurt your lungs. And next time you spare spray or whatever, get yourself a little water pipe, because you don't want Paula to cough. Right? Right. It's relaxing for sure. Thanks, Rick. The legend. The legend. What the hell? I think it's so funny people say that to me.
Somebody asked what time you came on.
What time did we start? About 8:15?
Paula says no, she won't get stoned.
Okay, Paul, that's fine. Paula doesn't have to do it. I'm not going to push the peer pressure. I was asked by a fan to ask, and I asked, that's it. I'm not the pusher man. Thank you. It came from China. My wife bought it for me on Amazon. So I've been working on a video for over a month, and it's still not ready. So I went out one more time last week, and I have these two recorders.
DJ Infinity asked when the next podcast is.
Tonight, after I've done this, I'm going to be podcasting with Dan, and he'll be putting it up later. Tonight. So podcast tonight. There you go.
They won't see it tonight.
And of course, but they might see that it's up because he puts it up right after we're done. So I would guess midnight-ish or so, you'll see the new podcast has been released. Is my mouth and my audio out of sync in time with the video? Looks like I'm out of time. Yep, it's off. Oh man, I look like I'm speaking in a foreign language, and there's somebody else who's doing an audio track.
No, somebody says, no, you were okay.
Oh, am I okay? Okay.
See, for me, because you're sitting right here.
Oh, well, you get a
Completely off.
delay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Maybe the delay makes it so it's not bad for you, but on my end, it looks like my mouth is not in time with what is being said.
I can't look at the picture even here.
Oh, we will. We have those KN95 masks for both myself and my mom, and we have hand sanitizer. My wife made homemade hand sanitizer with aloe vera gel and isopropyl alcohol. So yes. And I'm drinking some Brondo right now. That's not a sanitizing agent, is it? You know, the president was just joking. He was just being sarcastic when he said that you should inject or inhale or consume sanitizers. It was just joking. That was just a joke. That was not what he meant. Come on. He's so smart. You know, he's a quiet genius. Don't worry. Everything's cool. Hello, Viking Hackinson. Does that mean that you're actually from Norway? Are you really? Thank you for your donation. Favorite place I miss going to? Well, Assateague State Park.
Here, Saltwater Hill.
Well, here, down here. Oh, all the live music venues down here that have been closed virtually the whole time.
County Tavern, Saltwater Hill.
Yes, it is. Bobby says sanitizer is a broad term. Yes, and remember, it has to be 130 proof to at least be 65% alcohol, the minimum concentration needed to kill most biologicals. So you need 130 proof. So you'd better get the better stuff. I recommend that stuff they call White Lightning. That's good stuff. 130 proof. Yep. Viking tells us Everclear. That's what I was trying to pull out of my darn dementia-ridden mind. Thank you very much. Hey, Arnold Ziffel. Who, Arnold? I mean, whatever, making a pizza. Your cat is making bread with all. Okay, I thought it was a pizza. You do have the Heritage Viking. That's cool. Have you watched the Vikings in America series at all on cable? I watched a couple of episodes of that. It's pretty interesting. You know,
Arnold
it's
Zipper's
definitely.
in the house.
Arnold Ziffel is in the house. I know. I saw that.
Okay.
Frank, you know what else is good? I like Listerine, aka the 1960s version. You find an old bottle in an abandoned building and you take it home, and man, it tastes so good. Nice warm feeling going down your stomach, and then it comes out the side of your body. It just cuts a way through, you know. It just goes right out through your kidney.
I'm not sure if someone told you, but Dan fell asleep last night on his periscope.
No,
We were ghost hunting the Dolline across the street from him.
you were.
Dylan Gilruth.
Dylan. Is this a Dylan I know from Dan?
Gilruth, I guess. That's who put
I
the
don't know his
message
last name.
out. Well, how am I
Well,
supposed
Dylan, I heard you had an interesting experience last night. And what were you in across the street? You mean across the street, like down Reed Street a little further? You weren't talking about across the street into the old
School.
school. Yeah, you were on his Periscope. Are you saying that he was across the street with Periscope and he fell asleep in the building? I'm not really following this, but it was the old school. Oh my gosh.
Because he wasn't there, but it was the old school.
Oh, that's. Thank you very much. I can't wait to ask him during the podcast, and I won't mention it until we're rolling. And I'll ask him, what was happening last night? I heard that you were on Periscope, and he was periscoping and shooting the camera out his window. Okay. Because I don't know if you remember, but he saw this lady a couple different nights, and he thought it was a ghost, but he finds out, because he actually contacts the people. It was a woman who had been in the building before, and they found that she was basically just hiding in the building, sleeping there. So his report led to her being found back up in the 5th, 7th floor, using an old, floor that's totally unused, and sleeping and living in there. She'd get food, she'd come back into the room, and she was living in there. Crazy. So Dan and I met in August of 2008. Dan was at a group called the Dundalk Paranormal Meetup. And I went because I was just curious about getting into ghost hunting at the time. I'd never really done anything seriously, and I was looking at the goofballs when the Sci-Fi Channel had this show. It was so popular. They were making so much money. They supposedly were making $10,000 an episode each and all this kind of yada, yada, yada junk. And I'm like, let me see this show. So I watched the show, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Why are they saying EVP? What does that even mean? All right, then they put it up in italics in a little caption. You mean you're using a recording device, and when you listen to it back, especially with headphones on, there may be something there you didn't hear in real time. And you're calling that what? Electronic voice phenomenon. Oh, so I looked up that, and I found that there was a lady in the 70s who started doing this a long time ago, using the old reel-to-reel recorder, even in her office. And people said, well, I think it's just radio transmissions, and somehow they're getting collected by the magnetic tape during the recording process. It's nothing really, it's just errant radio signals being trapped. So I started to do this with Dan. I'd never done it before. I bought a Sony personal dictaphone, electronic recorder at the time, and damn if I didn't get things right away. I was like, holy shit, what's that? That sounds like a gun going off. Dan goes, I think that's a cannon. I'm like, you're kidding me. And then out there, we actually heard gunshots and wondered, who's shooting out here? But then Dan pointed out, and we listened to the recording, it wasn't like just one percussive sound. It was like a small sound and then a louder sound. A flintlock gun sound. The hammer hits the explosive and then hits the ball, and then the ball gets exploded and shoots the lead ball out. Wow! That is cool as shit, man. I can't believe it. And then when we got voices recorded and responding to us, I mean, it was blowing my mind. We went to a little cemetery in a place called Ellicott City. This is like 10 miles from where he was living at the time. And we go to a cemetery, and we're walking around, and I'm asking a few questions. He is as well. And then we stop and we play back the recorder. We have headphones with us. We had intelligent sounding responses to questions we asked at the moment just before. Asked, what family is this that is buried here? And they said Ellicott, or Ellicott, because that's the name of the family, Ellicott, Ellicott City. They were Quakers. They founded the town of Ellicott City. And of course, I've been to Uplands many times with Dan, and a bunch of other locations. We had a really cool place. It was a old hotel right on the Potomac River, and it was in the vicinity of where the Shenandoah and the Potomac come together. West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia. It's a little triangle where all the states come together in one little corner. So we were in the West Virginia side, and we were able to get up into this building, and you could look out at the river. It was beautiful. All kinds of crazy things we caught on audio recording. And I think he has at least a couple of videos from that building where you hear doors slamming and such, and we go examine and no one around. Yeah, I'm William Shatner, who's gone back in time, and now I'm no longer 87, I'm 60. I went back 37 years into the past. And they had a terrible flood multiple times. And thank you, JT, for your donation. Yes, 2 floods from sudden heavy downpours that lasted like 30 minutes and 6-8 inches dropped at one time. And the troublesome problem is uphill from the town. All the trees were cleared slowly but surely. Lots of pavement and concrete covering the surfaces, and only a small little stream still allowed to flow out down that, and no underground water control for stormwater. And that went downhill as it picked up all that water draining off from 6 to 8 inches of rain in a very short period of time. It just ripped the you-know-what out of that town. They mitigated, came back, and damn if a year ago it didn't happen again. So this year they finally have been implementing from plans that they developed last year, and a lot of the buildings are no longer going to be able to be restored. They're losing footprint of a lot of the old town. And they are doing some major projects finally for stormwater control. It was all man-made, all created by man, but that area was prone to floods anyway. We just made it a lot worse. Yeah, I wish there was a Channel 2 on here. That would be good. I could have like Kenny G in Channel 2 playing some soft jazz, smooth jazz, or maybe I could get Victor Wooten or Bella Fleck or some people like that together to do some really cool experimental jazz with Dennis Chambers joining along on drums as well. Here's a tip. WTMD.org. Look them up. Listen to their station. There's also a great station, the same kind of a format in Philadelphia. No, Kenny G's kind of lame, but first thing that came to pop in my head.
You like rap first?
Oh gosh, you know me. I love that rap. Yeah, I really love it. Nope, sorry. Nope. Nope. I mean, what's happened is the rap fused with pop. That's what we have now, you know. We have pap. And pap, there's a new album by Dolly Parton, and she's doing
New record.
new whole album.
That
I
was
said
not rap that she was doing.
she's got somebody that's doing that kind of a stylized or R&B at least,
Maybe R&B.
the modern version of R&B.
It definitely wasn't rap.
It's country rap. That's somebody that said here. Country rap. Travis William. Thank
Is
you.
that who it was?
Yeah, Travis William just helped to coin it. It's country rap. Pap. Yeah, it's with rap and pop rock. Pap. Dolly sounds great. This new song. I mean, I'm listening to it. My wife was playing it on her cell phone. And I'm like, that sounds okay. I like the voice. That sounds a little bit like Dolly Parton. And she goes, that is Dolly Parton. I'm like, what the hell? All right. Now, I don't know who the guy is singing, but he's doing the
He just
typical.
told you, Travis, I think.
Was that his name? No, Travis is the guy's name who said that it's called that. Whoever the artist is, you know, he's a nice guy, whatever. He has a nice voice, but it's like, you know, da 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 da, yeah, da dee doo, do 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 da da, da dee da da,
Stop.
and then Dolly comes in and does the next verse, and then he comes back, doodly doo 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 doo, and he repeats the same damn thing every you know verse. That must be like the chorus basically.
Somebody did something wrong. Lacey?
Ugh. What can I say? Fred Flintstone rap would be, I would probably be able to do that. Dabba dabba doo, dabba day, dab dab dab. Thank you, Lacey's Vlogs. Thank you for your wish for my safe channel travels from Florida and my safe channels on YouTube.
I'll be back. I gotta see who gets kicked off the nest.
All right, so I don't know where I am. I hope the battery's doing good. I hate when the battery message comes up of battery low. That's bad, bad, bad. All right, so it's time for number 2. Is anybody else keeping up? You don't all have to, you know. At least a couple in the room would help. Post Malone. Was there a pre-Malone and now there's a post Malone? It's like, is that like pre-ejaculate? Oh, Watcher of the Sky. Got somebody who keeps putting out super nice bands, and one of the best songs ever written by Genesis is Watcher of the Skies. Watchers of the skies. Hello and goodbye. I don't do it justice. The Knife. The album Trespass is a very forgotten album because the guitarist is different. It's not Steve Hackett. With the Olive Plenty at the end. So you had Anthony Phillips in that album, Trespass. And if you liked Watcher of the Skies and the sound of that album, Foxtrot, Nursery Crimes, you'd like Trespass. Yes, that wasn't Phil. I can't name who it was. Of course, it could have been Peter, because he played drums and flute and other things as well, beside vocals. That's Peter Gabriel, who had a great career and is still out there doing some shows, always pushing a message that supports the downtrodden, whether it be in his part of the world, in Europe, in the Americas, or in Africa. He did a lot of supportive events to help people who were suffering in the world. So he gave back a lot. Not that other artists don't. Just mentioning that about him. Yeah, Some of the Parts documentary. When Peter Gabriel era. Pink Floyd, what can I say that, I mean, Pink Floyd is a pretty well-known band by now, and of course they're not a band anymore. They're pieces of the band operating independently. And you got Nick Mason doing his show of the super old Pink Floyd. You got Richard Wright, who is in heaven. You got David Gilmour and Roger Waters, who probably won't even sit in the same room together. Oh, it's lovely. It's just like the band Yes. You got 2 or 3 yeses. You know, it's even with losing Chris Squire, he's passed on. You'd think that something would be sparked because it was Chris who, you know, fired Jan Anderson because Jan was having health problems and he couldn't tour. So you got Trey Gunn and other people to come in, and that guy who did the Yes tribute band from Canada ended up being the lead vocalist, and he's been doing that for some time now. And he's got a great voice. But so does Jan Anderson. Why can't we see them do a reunion again? I don't know. It's just so sad. Life is so short, and these guys are such good people, such great players. Luckily, you do have more music out of it because you got, Rick Wakeman and Jan Anderson and Trevor Horn doing a thing, and then you got Steve Howe and others doing the Yes thing. So, and what can I say? Definitely, Neil Peart, the loss of Neil Peart was a major loss in the rock world. And, he wrote most of their music, most of their lyrics, and played the drums. What a phenomenal man, and a great man. And I mean, his bandmates love him to this day, and I've seen some videos of them together chatting, talking, reminiscing. It's really great to see that. The Mosquitoes from Gilligan's Island. I can't quite remember, but that must have been some kind of like a the beach rock sound, something like that. Like the Venturers. What was that called? The Venturers. Mm-hmm. Who was the all guitar instrumental band? They played the beach rock sound. I think it was called the Venturers. So, major loss. Yes, Romeo's Lover. And pardon me. Excuse me. How rude and crude. Any questions? Anything different to talk about? Any news to share? Surf rock. That's kind of what I was talking about.
Time for you to get off the
Yeah, we're winding down the hour.
You're plugged in, that's good.
And I'm glad that you have been able to hear me without having to wear that piece. I mean, I will have it in with Dan, and I'll have to have the earplugs in. Maybe I should get Dan to get me a free pair of those wireless Bluetooth earpods that he advertised in his Creepy College video.
Wish somebody, Joey, a happy 16th birthday.
Joey, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joey. You're 16 and you're cool. Have a great birthday, Joey. You're welcome, Polecat. Don't buy the Bose ones. Were they called Raycon, Vic? Okay, I think they might have been that. Raycon. So has anybody used Raycon product and found it to be a really good pair of wireless earbuds. Person. And happy birthday to you on the 19th. Thank you, person. Paula Koala, my pleasure. And Sebastian, that was happy birthday, Joey, from Sebastian, too. Get drunk, says Jack. Yeah, I don't get drunk. I really don't even like getting drunk. You know, get real tipsy, but I don't like losing that kind of control. I'd rather get a nice mellow buzz with the alcohol and top it off with some good herb buzz. And have a nice balance. And then if I get a 2 to 2 or 2 of some really good Coke, that's like icing on the cake. I'm doing that to my wife because a couple of months ago I was actually treated, and I mean I never see that stuff ever. I wouldn't even go look for it. I wouldn't know if I was getting some rat poison or something. So the person who treated me, they'd already consumed it, and they weren't dead yet, so I figured it was safe. So I said, well, set me up with a line.
Wait till I see him.
So in the bathroom, he's there. I knew he was there, and that's how I found him. And he told me he had it, and he offered, and I finally went, took advantage of it. It was actually my celebration party for becoming monetized, if you recall that, or you can see it in my live streams. And it was the guy that was there, the one guy, the older guy.
Don't give me.
I'm not giving a name, but you can figure it out. Cocaine is a gateway drug and it leads to chasing tornadoes. I know, that's why I don't want to do it too much. I already chase after cars and things like that. So it was just like the old days. Like the 80s for me. That's my old days. When I went to college, I was in college 1977 to 1981. Yeah, I actually got out of college in 4 years and got a bachelor's degree. Isn't that amazing? How many friends do you know that have the 5, 6, or 7 year plan? Well, I didn't live on campus and I didn't live in a dorm. So hence, I didn't fail a year or so. Kristen, I knew that. I'd actually thought you had a PhD. Well, it's not the way it smells. It's the way
You're off of it.
it makes your gums numb. And if you get the nice numbing sensation, it's dental quality. You're ready to do some surgery. You're ready for that root canal. Saturday Night Live in the 80s. Yes, it's pretty much. That's what I still look like. Something out of the 80s.
Are you going to do happy hour?
That's 40 years old. And yes, I will be continuing multiple broadcasts a week, and I will be having my Cocktails with Rick in Maryland. Who knows? Maybe I can even twist Dan's arm enough into actually being with me one time. That would be nice. I could even do it if he was willing from his condo. But as you might have heard, you know, Dan is very worried about all of this virus stuff. So he's very protective. He's even shown photographs of himself being protective. It's a little ridiculous. Whatever, you know, he's got to be comfortable. And he does have a reason. He has someone that he cares about deeply, and he's doing the shopping and the running primarily. And he doesn't want to bring it back to that person and infect them. Oh, please. All right, I moved it a little more. Shoo. All right, please remember to please invite people to look at this guy on YouTube and subscribe. And if you haven't done so, click the bell. That way you'll get notifications at least 30 or 40 minutes after I finish. I think that something's going wrong with YouTube right now. Yeah, they never finished my monetization for the month. Not that I make a lot of money usually, but they never closed it off at the end of April like they're supposed to. And the total keeps going up and up and up and up and up. It's all the way up to $103 now. It's doing well, and it's doing well because people are being very generous. And tonight, all of you who donated tonight, thank you so much. You were just too generous to me. I said before in these series of Cocktails with Rick, this is for you, but thank you. You proved tonight it was for me. And that's a really appreciated gift. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Kendra's comment.
All right, Kendra, we will be your sunshine that you will miss while you're in Maryland. Thank you, I know. Kendra, my gosh. It's supposed to be cool and rainy up there. It's like I'm going back into February. Kim Baird is jumping in here. Thank you, Kim, for your generous donation. And it's cold and rainy and probably everybody else up there. Anybody from the Mid-Atlantic across to the Midwest, it's not nice. You make our lives better during these hard times. Thank you, Jay, for saying that. I wish I could. Well, thank you for requesting moderator status. Now, you need to hear my rules. I think I just bestowed this upon you, Polecat71. Unless a person is really being a total asshole, give them leeway. I just did make you a moderator. You now have a wrench beside your name. Take a look at that. It should show up on the screen. That means you're a moderator. So I don't wish you to just be giving people timeouts because they might say something that isn't totally part of what I agree with. I just expect and demand respect for everybody. Nobody calling names and acting like a child. Everybody may have different opinions about different things. That is allowed. And if you respect one person having their opinion and they respect you having yours, but you can agree to disagree, then that's the way I want it to be. Okay? Other than that, thank you for asking. Because there are occasionally those people who just try to get on anybody's live broadcast and they want to just cause trouble. So that's what we don't go for. Mediocre outdoorsman. What? Your fiance says hello. Her name is Asia? Oh my God. Well, listen to the Steely Dan album, and I hope it's half as nice as you probably are, Asia.
Isn't there a new ADR on Friday?
Oh, I heard something about that. There might be a new ADR on Friday. But I hear this on a lot of weeks in the last month. But I hope, and I will look for it myself, to see if I find another Dirty Room has been released on Friday. Because after I see it, Rick Sayre has a little present on his channel, a little behind the scenes peek at my time in New Orleans, which was tiny. I got there, the next day we shot 2 episodes in 2 horrible rooms. Dan had me go out for supplies at the first place because he didn't have them all together, didn't have everything we needed. I got very flustered after driving around in New Orleans. I've never been there. driving a truck that someone lent to us that was a manual stick shift, and it was, not exactly in pristine condition, internally and externally, but no fault to the owner, who may actually watch this. God bless you, Safe Squad, and Darren. But so here I'm driving a truck. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to go to Rite Aid's. I'm looking for distilled water and a spray bottle, and what else I forgot.
You're getting a thumbs up on the behind the scenes video you made.
Well, thank you for Dr. Leonard Hofstadter's fingers sticking up high. Yeah, well, you're now a moderator on Rick Sarah, Leonard, if you would like.
You're up to now.
I'm sitting at 120 people. 119. Hello, Naples. Laura Lee is in Naples, Florida, or in Naples, Italy. I don't know. Either one is a pretty nice place. It's a babysitting job. Well, that sounds good. I hope everything goes well. No children have an accident. Oh, you did it 39 years ago. All right, well, I guess there's no problem with that. Because I know one time we were being babysat, and my brother and I decided to crawl over the easy chair my dad would lie in, or recline in, sit in. And we would try to crawl over the back and go down. And I don't know, just like fall on the floor. Well, one time my brother, unfortunately, his head went a little bit too close to the wall, and it hit the cast iron baseboard radiator. He cracked his skull open. He needed probably 12, 14 stitches. The babysitter was really freaked out, ran up to one neighbor, then to another. That neighbor then responded, came to the house, helped get his bleeding under control, took him to the hospital. He got the treatment, and they brought him back because the babysitter was under 18 and didn't have a car. Yeah, we had a house phone, one, and a rotary phone. There was no 911 yet. This is probably 1968. Yeah. Those ancient times, like when they walked on the moon, and they had the rockets and, yeah, all that stuff. 69, oh, you dirty-minded people. Dirty boys and girls. Oh, everybody wants to talk about 69. Like, I know what that even means. I have heard from Brennan, Romeo's lover, he had a bad head cold. Luckily, it didn't test out. It's not coronavirus, just a head cold. Another friend, my friend Nick No, who helped me with the filming that will become my first episode of Another Odd Place. He got strep throat. And he got tested, and it was negative. And I'm glad to hear that, because we've been hanging out. And I thought that I was probably really safe, because he and his wife worked alone in the evenings doing commercial cleaning jobs, banks, other buildings, their own little business basically. And with all these places being closed, their accounts have been shutting down because they're not even using the buildings. So luckily he just got another job, but then he gets sick. But Now he's going to go back to what he was doing a long time ago. He's going to be cleaning surgical suites after procedures, now that the hospitals in the area are being allowed to open up and have, what do they call it, elective surgery now. And I asked him about his strep throat. I said, so who have you been kissing? And he said, oh, well, my wife and I, we're not kissing. We haven't kissed now. I said, no, before you got sick, who were you kissing? No comment. Maybe he was kissing a frog. Strep and mono at the same time. That is really good. Not. Did you have also conjunctivitis at the same time? Yeah, they must have been French kissing. That's it, right? Yeah, it's bad luck to have both at the same time. I had chicken pox, and then I had the German measles. This was the first grade. I was gone from school about a month and a half. I did some work by getting it from, my mother would pick it up at school, and I would do like, remember the old mimeograph machine? Anybody was in the 70s? And you get these like blue ink on a white piece of paper, and they always had a smell. You'd smell them and got a little buzz. At least it makes the school a little less uncool. Yeah, mimeograph. So it was basically just a, you'd make a negative with
carbon paper.
Yeah, with carbon paper, sort of.
Carbon paper.
And then you'd put that on a drum, and then the paper would be pulled onto the drum as you spun it, and it had a chemical, of course, to transfer ink onto the white paper, or whatever color paper you would use, but usually it would be white. And it would be a positive image then on the paper. So then you pass that out to your students. And that's the day before we had photocopy machines so readily. What kills me, though, is back in the mid-19th century, the 1850s or so, we already had facsimile machines with telegraph. How do you think? Not dittos, they were called. Yep, dittos.
Just put that up there.
Yep, ditto machines. Thank you very much. But we had, facsimiles, which were used by newspapers to transmit photographs and other things in the mid-late 1800s forward. How the hell did we figure that out with a telegraph line? And Bobby, you know what? Funkin' Wagnalls was the encyclopedias that my parents bought for us as a kid. They had a local grocery store, and the first edition was half price, and each week a new edition came out for like $5 or $10 a book. And over a period of 10 weeks, you had the whole volumes of all of the Funkin' Wagnall encyclopedias for only like $100, where to buy the Encyclopedia Britannica was $400. And we didn't have that kind of money. A lot of people did. And that was what the wealthy family had. Ah, yep. Encyclopedia Britannica. They were sweet, though. Funkin' Wagnalls would give you some kind of information. You got like 3 sentences.
It's 75 degrees. Somebody wants to know.
75 degrees right now. It was in the 80s today, mid-80s. In the sun, it's really warm. One thing about Florida, the sun is so much stronger than if you were at the mid-Atlantic level in the country. When you come down these latitudes towards the equator, the intensity of the sunlight is so much more. And it's actually a little longer of a day light as you get closer. Even noticeable in the wintertime. It's like as much as 15, 20 minutes longer here than in Baltimore.
S&H Green Stamps. Provide this.
S&H Green Stamps. We had a store not far from where I grew up. And you know, save them up from your grocery purchases, and lick them and put them in the little book, and you could send them in and exchange them for different items, different things that were in a catalog that you could pick from. Thank you, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I appreciate it. Bo and my wife do as well. The tapeworm, yeah, but I did find out where the tapeworm toy was at least found. And it was by our friend Jay here in the room. He found the tapeworm action figure, didn't you, Jay? Or Tay? Jay Tay. I keep saying you Jay, but you're Jay Tay. My little tapeworm. Oh, hi there, little tapeworm. Oh, oh. I got Dan Bell just messaged me, probably saying, "Are we ready to do our podcast?" Didn't you see? See, he doesn't even acknowledge I'm doing a broadcast now. My
Where's
nice
the-
little channel.
Where's the origin of the tapeworm?
It was a joke during a live stream after doing another dirty room with Dan, and I was just goofing around, half lit, a couple beers on, and I don't know, brought it up during the broadcast. So that's where he first appeared, was during one of those.
You have been
Dan is one of my
referred-
best friends in life. And I'm not always the easiest person to get along with.
You got that right.
So I can't say a lot about Dan. Yes, I can. He's as bad or worse than I am. But I do love him. And that's the way he is. That's the way I'll take him. Well, you all, I thank you for being with me for this last time. But
In
as the
Florida.
boss is calling, the last time in Florida, but the boss is calling and I'm being summoned. It's time to work. I have to act funny again for another hour and a half, and I have to read some disgusting, pornographic, erotic story that will probably involve bodily fluids and worse. Or bonobos, yes. No, actually the bonobo story was finished, the second half, and Jane had difficulty walking home. The end. And it's funny, it was the little teeny bonobo boy who finally helped her to get over that critical point to her release.
Okay.
It's not the size that matters. I guess it's the angle of the dangle. All right, well, I'll leave it on that. We will be back with more live Cocktail Hour with Rick broadcasts in Maryland. So fear not, it'll just be a different background. And I get to show you my little slice of Maryland. So stay tuned. Thanks again to all of you who donated, and God bless you all. Thank you for being my fans. Make me feel so special. It really is such a surprising thing for me to ever experience. If it wasn't for you guys, I would never have it. So, I tip my head to you all, and I wish you my best. Thank you, guys. Good night and stay safe out there. Take care of each other. And love your neighbor as yourself. Good night.